It's 3:17 a.m. The room is almost black except for that thin orange slice of hallway light under the door. Your blanket is twisted around one leg. Your mouth is dry. You open one eye, just enough to see the shape at the side of the bed. Your dog is already awake, not pacing, not whining, not scratching to go out, just sitting there with their chest still, ears slightly forward, eyes locked on your face like they've been waiting for you to notice. Maybe their chin is resting on the mattress. Maybe they're 2 feet away on the rug, perfectly silent. You shift and they don't flinch. They just keep looking. And the obvious explanation is the one you already tell yourself. They want something. That sounds reasonable, except a dog that only wants water goes to the bowl, and a dog that only needs to pee heads for the door. So why are they staring at you in the dark when you're doing absolutely nothing for them? Because this is bigger than need, older than training, and much more intimate than most people realize. And most dog owners have no idea. One of the clearest clues came from Laurent University in 1998, when researchers adapted the strange situation attachment test for 51 family dogs. In short separations and reunions with their owner and a stranger, the dogs used the owner as a secure base. They explored more when their person was present, sought proximity on reunion, and stayed behaviorally tuned to them in a way they did not with the stranger. That matters because it means your dog is not just living near you. Your dog is orienting around you, the way a small child keeps checking whether a parent is still in the room. So when your dog stares at you while you sleep, you're not background scenery. You're the emotional center of the map, but attachment is only the surface layer. Under that, something chemical is happening. In 2015, researchers from Azabu University and Jichi Medical University published one of the most important dog studies ever in science. They observed 30 dogs and their owners during normal interaction, measured oxytocin in urine before and after, and found a loop. The longer the dog gazed at the owner, the more oxytocin rose in the human, and the more it rose in the dog too. Think about what that means. Oxytocin is often called the bonding hormone, but emotionally, it's closer to a biological "you're safe with me." A chemical exhale, a signal that says, stay close, stay connected, this matters. Then they did something even stronger. They repeated the idea with hand-raised wolves. Zero effect, not smaller, not weaker, zero. The loop that turns eye contact into attachment was uniquely amplified in dogs. So when your dog watches you sleep, it may not be just looking. It may be participating in a relationship your species built together so deeply that a glance can alter chemistry in both directions. Love here is not a metaphor. It is a measurable event. And that raises a harder question. When did this start? At least 14,200 years ago in Bonn-Oberkassel, Germany, a dog was buried beside two humans. Later analysis suggested that dog had survived a severe bout of distemper as a puppy, long enough that it almost certainly required sustained human care to stay alive. Somebody fed that animal when it could not fend for itself. Somebody kept it warm. Somebody watched over it through the night. That is the part that matters, not just that humans tolerated dogs, that they stayed up for them. And somewhere across thousands of fires, camps, winters, and vulnerable sleeping hours, dogs that stayed close to human bodies, that tracked our breathing, our stillness, our waking, were the ones woven deeper into our lives. This wasn't random behavior. It was selected, repeated, kept. And it turns out this isn't just behavior. It's written into their biology. In 2017, researchers from Princeton and Duke found structural variants in domestic dogs near genes linked to hypersociability, including genes associated in humans with Williams-Buren syndrome, a condition that increases social drive. But in plain terms, part of what makes dogs so unusually drawn to human faces and human presence appears to be built into the genome. Behaviorally, that means your dog is not improvising this bond from scratch every night. Your dog comes preloaded with a bias to keep a human close, visible, and socially relevant, which sets up a paradox. Because if staring is all about eye contact, your dog should lose interest the moment your eyes close. But many dogs don't. Sometimes they watch you more when you're asleep. Why? Because by then, your body is still talking, just not in words or eye contact. In 2022, researchers at Queen's University Belfast showed that trained dogs could detect human stress from scent samples of breath and sweat taken before and after a stressful task. The dogs identified the stress samples at rates far above chance. So your sleeping body is not silent, your breathing changes, your scent changes, your micro movements change, your nervous system changes the air around you. Your dog may be staring with their eyes, but they are reading with far more than vision. And if that is true, then how deep does this actually go? In 2019, Linköping University studied 58 dogs and their owners using hair cortisol, a long-term measure of stress stored in hair like a hormonal archive. The finding was startling. The dogs' cortisol levels mirrored their owners' chronic stress patterns, not momentary stress. Not one bad afternoon. Long-term stress. A lab could look at your dog's hair and find traces of the life your body has been living. Here's the sentence that should stay with you. Your dog doesn't just sleep in your home. Your dog lives inside your physiology, which brings you to the part you actually need to watch for. If your dog has always checked on you at night, slowly, calmly, with a relaxed body, that's one thing. But if the staring becomes sudden, intense, or new, especially with pacing, panting, whining, restlessness, staring at walls, accidents, nighttime confusion, or not settling where they used to, don't romanticize it too quickly. Older dogs can develop cognitive decline. Dogs in pain often become nocturnally vigilant. Vision or hearing changes can make nighttime behavior stranger and clingier, and or anxiety can turn watchfulness into distress. And they cannot explain any of that to you. They can only show you with position, pattern, and persistence. No words, no complaint, just behavior. So go back to that moment. It's 3:17 a.m. again. The room is almost black. The hallway light is still cutting that thin orange line under the door. Your blanket is still wrapped around one leg. You crack your eye open, and there they are. Silent on the rug, or with their chin on the mattress, looking at your face like it matters. Now you know why that moment feels so strange, because it isn't empty. It's attachment. It's chemistry. It's thousands of years of sleeping beside us. It's genes shaped for human closeness. It's a body reading another body in the dark. Your dog is not just watching you sleep. Your dog is staying connected while you disappear for the night. If you want more videos that make the animals in your life feel even more meaningful, subscribe. And tell me in the comments, better floor,